Hello and welcome to Photo Finds. It's the week of July 8th, 2014. I'm your host, Nick Russo, and it's a pretty exciting week, guys. As you may know, today is the opening day of Diagon Alley at Universal Studios' Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and that's some pretty big news. Now, these pictures were taken prior to opening day, but you'll still get an idea of what's going on inside the land, so let's begin. Let's go ahead and get started at the entrance. As you can see here, this is where you walk through the brick wall just like they do in the movie, just like Hagrid and Harry do in the movie. Except, obviously, this is a lot wider of an opening through this brick wall. And these bricks don't actually move, but you do get the illusion that they do, and you'll see how that works when you go yourself. Now, this is what you see when you first walk into Diagon Alley. It's obviously very stunning. You get a huge, massive grandeur of what there is to do. This is obviously just the main street of Diagon Alley. There are also little branches off that we will see, not so little branches, but we will see those branches in a moment. Here are some of the guests coming into Diagon Alley, and all you can see really here are smiles all around because, let me just tell you, these pictures do not do Diagon Alley justice, and that's why these people are smiling. That's why I was smiling, because we just didn't know what to expect at all. And when you do see it finally, it's absolutely breathtaking. I mean, nobody knew what to say. Everybody was kind of at a loss for words. It's really that massive and awesome. Immediately to the right, when you walk through that brick wall, you see the quality Quidditch supplies. That's where you can buy apparel and all kinds of other memorabilia themed to Quidditch, of course. Over to the left, immediately after you walk through the brick wall, is the Leaky Cauldron. This is Diagon Alley's main fast, quick service restaurant. Now, these pictures are kind of scattered all over the place, as you'll see. So we were just in the beginning of Diagon Alley at the main entrance. Now we're all the way down at the end of Diagon Alley looking at the dragon, the fire-breathing dragon, at that on top of Gringotts. You might have seen pictures of this before. Over to the left of the dragon, here is Horizontally. Now, this is the made-up kind of add-on to Diagon Alley, and this is where the ice cream parlor is. This is where you go down to get to Knockturn Alley, which we'll see in a little bit. Here's a wide shot of, on the right you have Diagon Alley there. On the left you have the Carket Market, and we will see the Carket Market in a bit. But from this shot you can really see the theming of Diagon Alley in all of its glory. And the people who designed all of the signage and text in the movies came in and did all the signage and detailing for this attraction, for Diagon Alley. At the Wizarding World, their names are slipping me right now, but they, in fact, did work on Diagon Alley. Here is the line to get into the, I'm going to give this a go, it's the ice cream parlor. It's the Florine Fortescue's ice cream parlor. This is the line to get into there. The Fountain of Fair Fortune is not actually a shop. This is a facade, but there is a Fountain of Fair Fortune kiosk over in the Carket Market, which we'll get a shot at as well when we head over there. But this is just the line to get into the ice cream parlor, where these people are going to try the butterbeer ice cream and all the other exciting flavors in there. Here's one of those enchanted interactive wand elements that they have all around Diagon Alley and now Hogsmeade as well. This one at the time was broken. This is a water effect that I guess when you point your wand and wave your wand at it, some water is supposed to cascade down from that umbrella there. It was broken at this time, but of course in the Wizarding World they don't say broken. I believe the cast member or a team member who was in this area said that this element was hexed, I believe was the word that she used. Right over to the left of that water effect there was another interactive wand element. Now this one, when you waved your wand at it, was a very large effect. There's these lights up in these windows are supposed to kind of dance and illuminate for several moments and then shut off again. This one was working and fully functional at the time. Over to the left of that lighting element was this potions kind of display, a very detailed display. can't go in there. It's not an actual shop. It's just a facade. Here's a longer view of that. And over to the right of that, I just wanted to take a picture of this blue cart here. There were a lot of carts and trolleys set up all around Diagon Alley and over in the Carpet Market area that had nothing on them. They weren't being used for any type of merchandise. I don't know if they will be at some point, or they're just decorations as if they were abandoned there. Here's one of the enchanted windows right outside of the line for the ice cream parlor. So this is where the line kind of goes down, and you could see that they were dancing kind of marionette trolls, and they dance around for a bit, and then the curtain closes, kind of like just a quick little show there, puppet show. Heading over to the big attraction of Diagon Alley, of course, is Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts. It's not actually open right now. All that was open for this preview was the queue walkthrough, which we will get to. I just wanted to get a shot of the entrance. They had the guards out there, telling everyone the attraction is not actually open, but you can go in and check out the queue there. They have lockers available for rental because you can't bring bags, just like you can't on the Forbidden Journey or a lot of other attractions for that matter at Universal and Islands of Adventure. So they do have free lockers for a certain amount of time, and if you go over that time, you do have to pay. Here's another one of those interactive wand elements over outside of Weizsäcker's Wizarding Equipment. I'm terrible with these names, I'm so sorry. But this is another one of those interactive wand elements. Over behind that wand element, or over to the left of that, over by the lockers as well, is a test seat for the Escape from Gringotts. So if you're not quite sure if you are comfortable riding, you can check out the test seats, of course, as is so on a lot of the other attractions in the park. Over to the stage here in Carpet Market. Now we're going to get a detailed look at the Carpet Market, but starting off, we're going to take a look at the stage. And this is where shows are performed. They have live-action performances of stories from the Tales of Beetle the Bard, which is a book in the Harry Potter movies. And they kind of took stories from that book and put them up on the stage. One of the stories is The Tale of Three Brothers. And also on this stage is a musical performance by Celestina Warbeck and the Banshees. Celestina Warbeck is a singer mentioned in the books, the Harry Potter books, and Universal Creative kind of took the concept of her and expanded it and made a whole show based around her and her backup singers. This is a look at the audience. It is a very small audience because it was just a preview this night, but I would imagine this whole area is going to be packed with day guests once the Diagon Alley opens to the public. Here's the stage without any performance on it. Over to the right of the Carpet Market stage is the Hopping Pot, and this is the bar where you can buy all of your beers and alcoholic spirits. It's the bar of Diagon Alley. This is where you go if you want your adult beverages. Here is the kind of audience standing area for the stage. It's all cleared out now because the performance of the Beetle the Bard has wrapped up. Over to the right of that bar area is just another facade. This one's themed to a mill, a steel mill, I believe. They're an armory, actually. And it's just a nice theming area where you can sit down, have a drink, get something to eat as well, and just relax over here. And by the way, let me just say, this Carpet Market area, it's fairly well shaded. So on a hot summer day, which we're already having here in Orlando, you won't be too affected. It didn't seem like there's a lot of good shading. Here's a look at the exit. There are a few exits to get out of Diagon Alley. This is one of them, over more toward Carpet Market. And still in Carpet Market, we haven't left. We were just taking a look at the exit sign. This is one of my favorite elements of the entire expansion. For some reason, I just enjoyed this. This was the bridge that went across Diagon Alley, and it was supposed to be where the Hogwarts Express goes across, and every now and then you'll see these traffic lights go from green to amber to red, and you'll hear some sound effects from up above there as if the train is crossing. Of course, it's just an effect. The actual train is over in King's Cross Station, and we'll see that soon. Alright, now I mentioned this episode would be a bit scattered, and it is, so we're going to leave Carket Market now and head over to the Escape from Gringotts. Now, the ride wasn't open, as I said before, but the queue was, so we are going to explore the queue a little bit here. And first we start off in the main room as we enter Gringotts Bank. Very massive room with this beautiful chandelier here. And this room is where the Gringotts goblins are doing all of their work, and they're on either side of you. At the desks, there are also open spots that presumably, it is said that there's going to be actors, but we don't know that for sure. And then we make our way into some of the vaults here on your right-hand side. Closer up look on, I believe this was Bellatrix's vault. And then into another room where some newspapers are scattered around there before we make our way into the quote-unquote pre-show area. Now, I just say quote because it is kind of a pre-show. It's very short. It's just Bill Weasley and a goblin in his office, and they're talking about what's been going on around the bank, and they're joining you on your tour, and it's very quick. It's not a very long pre-show. There's a wider shot of the room, and it's using the same technology that you can see over in the Forbidden Journey. Here is a enchanted picture frame telling you the kind of safety warnings about the movement of the ride and what you can expect from it. And that's before you go into the lift to take you down to the loading platform for the ride itself. Now we're leaving Escape from Gringotts now, and we're heading down horizontally into Knockturn Alley. And these are going to be some very dark pictures, I apologize, but it's what I could get on the equipment that I had with me. I didn't bring a flash in here. I thought that'd be rude for the preview, so I could have gotten some brighter pictures, but this is what I have. And this, like I said, is Knockturn Alley. This was one of my favorite parts as well. I loved Knockturn Alley. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how they were going to do it. I think this is a surprise to a lot of people, but a pleasant surprise. Here's a look up at the sky of Knockturn Alley. That's all I'm going to say. Here's a look up at the sky. It's awesome in here. And they also, let me if you're a fan of Halloween Horror Nights, you're going to love this area. It was very Halloween Horror Nights-ish. It just felt that way. It was great. They had some enchanted windows here with the interactive wand elements attached to them. They had a shrunken head display, similar to the shrunken head that you can find out on the night bus in the London waterfront area. And in Knockturn Alley, of course, is Borgin & Burke's. And Borgin & Burke's is where you could find some darker merchandise, all obviously themed to the wizarding world, but this is where you can get all of your Death Eater masks and darker apparel and merchandise. Heading out, once again, we're going to the Carket Market again. This time the sun is going down a little bit, so we're going to get a kind of a different atmosphere. And we're more specifically here this time to get a look at Weasley's wizard Wheezes. And this, as you may know, is the joke shop, or the more novelty shop, where you can buy all of your whoopee cushions and things like that, and kind of replaces Zonko's over in the Hogsmeade area of the Wizarding World. It's a much larger store than Zonko's, which is great, because Zonko's was kind of small, but this is a much larger area. Here's some look at some of the smaller objects, like the pins, and it's a real great fun store. Over into the quality Quidditch supplies. You can get into this store from the Carket Market area, but as you saw before, over near the brick wall entrance to Diagon Alley, there's also another entrance to this store. Really nice little store where you can buy all Quidditch themed apparel, of course themed to the different houses. You can see the sun is now going down, as I said, in Carket Market, and we're just going to take a look at some of the shops and false facades. You can see here the house elf placement agency. Kind of cute there. Moving on to some more of the facades over past that area. This is on the opposite side of the stage where Celestina Warbeck and the Tale of Three Brothers shows are performed. This is also where you'll find the Gringotts Money Exchange, where you can pay for a currency that is redeemable all around the Wizarding World and at shops all around Universal Orlando Resort. So you pay a certain amount to get some wizard money. And you can also get some gold bars in the store and interact with a goblin, as you may see through that middle window there. Now over here, this is where Diagon Alley kind of meets with the Carpet Market area. And I wanted to get a shot of the fire-breathing dragon on top of Gringotts, because this vantage point is astounding to take pictures of the dragon. So this is when you're leaving Carpet Market and heading down toward Knockturn Alley. You can get some great shots of the dragon here. I like these shots better than what you can get from the front. Now, this is Madame Malkin's robes for all occasions. This is where you can buy robes for all occasions. Wouldn't you know it? Here's the checkout counter for Madame Malkin's. Leaving Madame Malkin's, just wanted to get a quick shot of the Leaky Cauldron sign up here. And more specifically, you can't see it in this picture, but this is actually a little water effect. The cauldron actually does leak and drips down onto the floor right in front of the main entrance to the Leaky Cauldron. Now we're going to leave Diagon Alley, where we can see Wayfaring Wizards welcome. And we're heading out of the brick entranceway, out to the London waterfront. Just going to get a quick look at this telephone booth. I'm not going to say much more about this telephone booth other than it does something special. Alright, now the reason we left Diagon Alley was because, you may know, you can't get to platform 9 3/4 through Diagon Alley. You have to go out to London to King's Cross Station to get to platform 9 3/4, and that's what we're doing here. So we're heading into King's Cross Station. The first thing we see is the stroller parking out front here. This is also where you can find some London musicians playing guitar and various other instruments. They were on the day that we were there anyway. Heading past the stroller area is the ticket-taking station. This is where you present your 2-park hopper pass. You do need one of those, just as if you were to leave Universal, head out through City Walk, and go into Islands of Adventure. It's the same ticket that they'll be looking for here at the ticket-taking station, because the train does go from park to park, so you do need that 2-park pass. Above the ticket-taking station is this board where they show the different destinations from King's Cross to the different stations around Europe. Of course, we won't be going to any of these destinations on our journey. We're heading to Hogsmeade, which, if the ticket-taking employees here ask where you headed and you say Hogsmeade, well, they'll raise an eyebrow and say, "What are you talking about, man?" It's great theming in that sense. Here's a reverse view of that ticket station and the entrance to King's Cross. A look at the extensive queue around the platform. Now, that's one observation that you can make from these pictures, that the queue is very long, and they're anticipating those inevitable crowds from day on, opening day and forward. At one point in the queue, you come across this billboard that you may recognize from the Harry Potter films. Make a little magic, divine magic, of course, a fake perfume that was featured in the movies, which we can now see here at the queue at King's Cross. The queue continues around this luggage area where this lift is, this elevator. So if you are in a wheelchair or any guest with disabilities who can't climb up the stairs, which you do have to do at a certain point here, this is where you would break off from the queue and go up the elevator to the second floor, where you actually load onto the train, or you board the train. A few more shots at the luggage area. Now here is something that's been anticipated, the brick wall between platforms 9 and 10 that leads you to platform 9 3/4. Now as a guest, you don't physically experience walking through a wall. That's impossible. So it's more of a Pepper's Ghost effect here that you see from a different vantage point, and it's more of a photo opportunity to take pictures of your friends running through platforms 9 and 10 to platform 9 3/4, and like I said, more of a photo opportunity that uses mirrors, and it's a very cool effect, but you don't physically experience going through a wall, because that is impossible. Moving on to the boarding platform onto the train. Now when you see this thing pull up, It's just incredible. Now, again, these pictures don't do justice. Though this picture here can show a grandeur look at platform 9 3/4 and King's Cross, it doesn't do justice. You really have to be there to feel and smell and hear all the things around the area, and it's awesome. Another look up at the sign on platforms 9 3/4. A look at the load instructions. One of the first things it says here, obviously, is no video recording or flash photography. Now, you can find video of the train ride. I'm not going to show it, or I'm not going to show pictures either. I recommend that you don't use flash photography on the train, just like it says here, because you will ruin the illusion and the experience for yourself. For some reason, the flash does interfere with the projection, and it just doesn't look right when you start taking pictures in your train car. So I would obey this sign and stay away from flash photography while on board, for the sake of your enjoyment. Here's a look out onto the platform from your train car, and really that's the last I'm going to show of the Hogwarts Express. Which means that's going to do it for us for this week in Photo Finds. I hope I quenched your thirst to see some up-close details of Diagon Alley. It's definitely an experience, and like I said at the start of this episode, I definitely recommend checking out Diagon Alley if you have not already planned to do so. It's amazing. It's incredible. I definitely recommend it. Alright guys, until next week, have fun. Bye.